Hello, everyone, and welcome to ScreenBugs, the UK's #1 bug-themed podcast.
Definitely #1 bug-themed film podcast. If we're #2 bug-themed film podcast,
I'm pretty sure we're the only one. I would be a bit insulted.
We better fucking add be.
So, if you're new to listening, we review films, but only if they've got little bugs in them. That is our one condition that we most follow. And today, we are going to be looking at the 2025 film Bugonia.
Oh, yes.
Directed by Yorgos Lanthimos.
Look, if you've not had a chance to go and see Bugonia, it's very new. It's in the cinemas right now. Go and see it before you listen to this podcast, because there's going to be spoilers.
We are going to be talking about the entire film. And this film,
entire thing.
At the time of recording, this film came out 5 days ago?
Yeah, this is fresh.
This is fresh, so please go watch this if you haven't seen it. And this was an interesting one because obviously we both saw this in cinemas.
Yes.
Neither of us foolishly took a notebook into the cinemas.
Yeah, it was a little bit too dark.
Yeah, a little bit too dark. So hopefully we get things right.
Yeah, this is the first time we've taken notes post-film, not during film. So we're going to work it as we go.
We are. I mean, I got home and I just spent an hour writing down. Yeah. I wrote down 9 pages for some reason on this film.
I didn't have that much, but I'm trusting my brain to have enough thoughts.
So if you don't know anything about this film, I'll give you a brief synopsis, and then that might help. So this film follows 2 young men who are, I'm going to call extremists for the sake of this, environmental extremists, who kidnap a powerful CEO, suspecting that she's secretly an alien who wants to destroy Earth. Now, interestingly, what I've just described might sound like a comedy, and that is because this is actually based off a film called Save the Green Planet.
Is it?
Yes, it's based off a comedy film following the same premise. It's a 2003 film directed by Jang Joon-hwan, which I don't know if you might notice that this film should be funny, and it isn't.
Yeah.
So this is a thriller film, I would say, like a very suspenseful thriller.
The thing that confused me is because when I went on the wiki just now, it's called an absurdist black comedy film, but it's not a comedy film.
They didn't feel like a comedy film, no.
I know, it's a thriller.
But unlike what it's based off, which is just the same premise, which is someone who kidnaps someone thinking they're an alien, which is a very funny process.
Yeah.
But enough about context. I think let's get into the film, just if you want to start us off.
Sure, yeah. So I guess, and it's going to be a bit weird. I don't think we'll really go bit by bit necessarily in the same way we usually would. How do you want to start this?
I would say let's start with, as the film says, something magnificent. Because we start with a nice little almost documentary-style footage of bees pollinating flowers, which I thought was a really nice way to start. It's quite a peaceful start. Lovely narration by Jesse Plemons, who is one of the 2 main characters in the film.
Yeah.
I just really like the visuals and the narration here, because it kind of gives us an insight to some of the film's themes, where Jesse Plemons talks about bees being essential and how they're exploited, and workers, and how they're dying, and how things kind of go into shit.
That's one of the main overarching themes in many, many, many dynamics in this film, is the idea of exploitation and manipulation. In this film, kind of everybody is either manipulating or being manipulated.
Oh, yeah.
Or abusing or being abused, or both. A lot of them are both.
It's a very complex film with its themes. I think it pulls it off really well to start with. Because, I mean, after we have the bees, we are instantly shown our 3 main characters. Now, mind you, there is probably about, 4 or 5 talking characters in the film, and 3 of them are our main characters. So this is a very contained film, which is nice. So we are introduced to Teddy and Don, who are played by Jesse Plemons and Aidan Delbis. So in the case of Aidan Delbis, who plays Don, this is his first feature film, surprisingly, which I found out.
There's one thing I noted as well that I was quite glad about. There's lots of films where neurodivergent people are played by neurotypical
Oh God,
people,
don't get me started, yeah.
I appreciate that they actually casted an autistic actor to play that role.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
It is refreshing, and also there's filmmakers always make arguments about why it wouldn't work. We can't do it. We've got a film to make. And again, this film is just clear evidence that it can work and it's more authentic and better off.
Yeah, and it makes
that.
a better product as well. Because obviously you have actors who do their research and that, but it might not be accurate. It's nice to have.
It's just kind of awkward to watch if you're watching someone who's clearly is not.
Or that isn't neurodivergent, yeah.
Playing that role, it's like...
He does such a good job as Don as well.
Really?
He was instantly my favourite character.
I'd say same.
So we get this nice little setup of our characters and we see their contrasting lifestyles. Because obviously Teddy and Don are... Would you say they're like poor? They're working class.
Yeah,
They're the They're the B's is I think the best way to refer to them. We see them going through their life and they kind of... I feel dingy kind of house, this kind of bit rundown house.
Teddy works technically under the company that the CEO of the Kidnap owns.
Yes, so that's a good reveal later as well. But we are also introduced to Michelle, played by Emma Stone, very briefly. Here, she is the CEO of a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah,
and her lifestyle is clean and white and all the high tech. And I really like this because it shows their dynamics as well.
The way we meet her as well is her talking about... She's talking about wanting to soften the rules on her employees and wanting to be pro-diversity and things, but it's very quickly revealed what she really cares. She's not really bothered about these things. She'll say, oh, we want to make this a better environment for workers, so if you want to go in at 5:30, go home, but then she, at the same time, is pressuring her workers not to. Again, it's the abuse of power, which again falls into the exact same theme. Every single character is abusing and being abused, or at least one of those things.
I really like the main characters, especially because they're all kind of unlikable in a sense.
Yeah.
Not at the start. I would say I really liked Teddy and Don at the start. They are shown to be...
I think Don's the most forgivable character in the film.
He's definitely the most likable.
Yeah.
I loved him. He was fantastic as well. I like the way that Teddy and Dan speak to each other. I love how genuine they are with each other.
Yeah.
But also how kind of almost sinister Teddy is to Don as well.
He's just very manipulative. He's I don't know, it's kind of almost, and this might seem like a weird comparison, but we reviewed in one of our recent episodes, we reviewed Heretic. And one of the things I said about Hugh Grant's character in that film is that he has this idea about the world, and because he's so sure of it, he feels almost a duty to impose it onto others.
Yes.
I feel that's what Teddy's like with his cousin.
They did feel very similar in that regard, and it's sad as well, and you really feel for Teddy because... Not Teddy, for Don, because Teddy's almost kind of grooming him.
Yeah.
As well, in this sense that everything that they consume, a lot of it Teddy's made, and that's what Don's consuming, and he kind of controls his lifestyle, and obviously because he's his main kind of caregiver as well. He looks up to Teddy and trusts him, and he's exploiting him.
And Teddy tells Don multiple times about how other people don't see your value, they don't see you as a hero, they don't see you as this or this, but I do. And it's very much the only I can help you, only I like you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Textbook manipulation.
I mean, their relationship is weird because the way they speak to each other, it is sweet.
Yeah,
as well. Because Don is apologizing to Teddy, and he's like, "I'm sorry," and he's like, "Don't apologize, man. It's okay. I love you." And it is very genuine because they have each other. They only have each other, as we kind of find out as well. But there's this kind of, it's a kind of coin flip, isn't it, to whether it's more nice or more sinister.
Yeah.
I just want to say kind of early on now, and it's very apparent from the kind of beginning of the film, the soundtrack to this film is fucking amazing. The soundtrack is done by Yerskin Fendrix.
Again, it's one of those things where with it being a cinema screening, and so you can only view it once, you can't go back. It's harder to appreciate some of the
finer details.
Yeah, you've got to watch a film multiple times, I think, to really get a good grasp, which is why it's a kind of a unique sort of way of doing this for us.
But the music was, it's just orchestral beauty.
Yeah.
It's so, and especially in the cinemas, it's booming and it's I loved it. I think I've got a couple stuff written about the soundtrack, but there's nice stuff at the start. And I just want to say, I really like at the start, it's a lot of the stuff is kind of outside and we're kind of we're looking in on their lives. I really like, I don't know if you noticed this, the camera is almost fisheye it feels just a bit too pulled back.
Yeah.
And I really like that because we're kind of distanced from all the characters at this point.
A lot of the carrot work,
The carrot work.
a lot of the carrot work, a lot of the fun, a lot of the camera work, it is quite phenomenal in this film. I really appreciate as well when things start getting intense. Very often they pull back to an like a stream wide shot on the building.
It goes back and forth. Like we have we're kind of really pulled out.
Yeah.
But as soon as kind of shit goes down later in the film, everything's incredibly close.
Yes.
I really like that kind of. It's a bit jarring for the viewer, and I like that. I mean, it's kind of crazy that the build up to this, because we as I said, we talk about their daily routines, and obviously we see like Emma Stone, like she's a CEO, she's kind of a girl boss at this point, she's a bit of a prick, and then we see Teddy and Don, and they're kind of having breakfast, working out a little bit, which is a little bit humorous, and then you see their relationship, and then they're like buying masks, buying like loads of drugs, buying like like tape and stuff, and then it kind of cuts to them outside in the garden talking, and they are chemically castrating themselves.
Yeah.
Which is such a kind of big slap in the face, because it's like whoa, what the fuck?
That again is one of the darker moments of Teddy's impact on Don as well.
It's such a kind of, it's a really sad moment as well, because Don is talking about how one day he might have wanted kids and he wants something more, and Teddy's like, no, this is how it has to be. We have to be committed to this. It's like they're preparing, and we don't know the scope of this yet, so it seems very kind of serious.
And also at this point, obviously, we as a viewer do not know how sure Teddy really is. He seems like this lunatic conspiracy theorist. We eventually, by the end, obviously,
we find out.
We'll discover that he actually did know this for sure. And one thing as well, when I was looking back and taking notes on this film, is I think to appreciate what it's actually trying to say and what it's doing and the themes, I think you almost have to, at least at the start, review it without the context of the ending, because it feels like
the ending changes the whole film.
It's got stuff to say. Then it's the ending that's just like, just kidding, just a laugh.
I mean, we obviously we'll talk in depth about the ending, so we won't take into account the ending right now, and I think that'll be best for both of us. But yeah, I just this whole castrating themselves, it's a really serious bit, and it's a little bit sad, and you don't know the scope of things. It's great. It's a great kind of, you know, and this is the kind of point where you understand that none of the characters, maybe except Don, of course, are good per se.
Yeah.
Like, all the characters are kind of fit this very weird grey area of they are both likable and unlikable at the same time.
Which really, again, which really works for the film. It is a strange group of unique characters in a very specific scenario where there is constant tension, which is always how the best thrillers work, especially when you're focusing on one setting. Like most of this is within this house. I mean, the film
does a really good job, because it's essentially just like conversations, isn't it? Each scene is basically a conversation between Teddy, Dom, and Michelle.
Again, that's where the similarities to how I felt about Heretic, and I mean, you know how much I loved Heretic, my favourite film of last year. And this one I enjoyed for a lot of the same reasons. It's just so much of it is just these nuanced and fleshed out characters just put in a situation where they're constantly draped on each other, and it's just letting them go at it. And
about belief as well.
Yes,
like a lot of the films have that kind of like talk about sort of belief and stuff like that. But yeah, so we've set up a kidnapping. I think we'll move on to the kidnapping.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this whole sequence?
I wasn't expecting it to. Like, it sort of just jumps into it. Like, they're just already outside the house to go straight for. There's no hesitation, which I guess makes sense. I don't know what else they would have done.
They don't mess around with it, do they?
I like that it became more of a bigger fight scene. Like, it wasn't a simple job. She was kicking their asses.
I like that they set it up earlier as well, because it shows Michelle's in her daily routine. It shows her like fucking like practicing like kung fu or something, and then they get try and overpower her, and she just starts fucking beating them up,
beating the shit out of them. And
but
it's yeah.
I just want to ask, because obviously we talked about it being a comedy. Did you find this scene funny?
I don't know if funny. There was a certain, I don't know, like mildly amusing element to it, but I don't know. I was really just along for the ride.
I mean, this film does a weird job because in all means, this struggle kind of, it could be seen as humorous because it's fairly absurd kind of situation, and the way they frame some of the shots, and like it's like ooh, and you know, it's a little bit silly, but it isn't funny. It doesn't feel funny, even though it's ridiculous. It feels like a very serious thing, and obviously it is kidnapping. It's not a funny thing, but
again, it was that long fight, that long sort of chase.
It's just a constant tipping scales of power, isn't it? Because obviously they try and kidnap her, she beats them, and then the power flips again when Teddy injects her with a sedative.
Yeah.
And I really like this bit because Emma Stone she stumbles away, she looks at her leg, she looks at the syringe, and as she falls, we have this giant crescendo of the music, whereas it goes like... I really like this. I love how grand the music is here. And then obviously after that we go straight into the house. They've kidnapped her now. They've sealed her away. And I think there's a really good oh shit moment here.
Yeah.
Because she's lying there on the bed. She's unconscious. They've shaved her head at this point. She's bald. And Don says to Teddy, he says something like, are you sure she's an alien? And that's the kind of moment where you go, these guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they were extremists before, but, you know, a lot of the time extremists have what they think to be reasonable ideas and morals. Whereas this is like, no, these guys are crazy. They're off the deep end at this point.
This is an interesting thing. Did you, before the end, expect there to be that actually it was all true reveal?
A lot of people before the film came out were like, oh, I really hope the twist isn't that she's actually an alien. And I've seen these, I've interacted, and I was really hoping the same thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that comes into play later. But I was along for the ride.
Yeah.
You never know until the end, and it's both realistic and not. Like, obviously Teddy's crazy though, and it's
I feel like the whole film I was enjoying it, but I was waiting for the moment, like, okay, she actually is. The whole time I was waiting for I thought it was going to happen earlier than it did. Actually, I was waiting for this to happen. I was so certain of it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I almost feel like there would have been a slight lack of payoff I think it was like an inevitable.
Well, it's an interesting one because I think the film would have been really interesting if it was just kind of like, he is crazy and that's what's scary, because how do you reason with the unreasonable?
Yeah.
And I feel like it was almost trying to make a political commentary at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got that from this as well.
I think there's several sort of strands of political and social commentary throughout this. But again, there's a certain extent that the ending almost cancels out some of the points.
That's what I mean.
Well.
It almost doubles back on itself, but I mean, yeah, it's a very bizarre ending. But we're still at the start. We're still at the start. I know we're definitely excited to talk about the ending, I can tell. But yeah, at this point they've captured her, and we kind of really see how crazy they are, and he's lost completely, and we don't really get an indication of that until now. And it's also at this point we get our kind of main plot drive, because it is 4 days until the solar eclipse, in which, you know, Emma Stone, Michelle, is going to call down what they believe to be the mothership, and they can sort out something from there. It's very, very absurd, and he's definitely very crazy. But his Jesse Plemons performance is so good.
I really enjoyed his performance, and I've not seen him in this kind of role, this kind of focus before, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, is what I was trying to say.
I mean, he's always been an actor I've been aware of, and I've liked what I've seen him in, but I've not seen him in enough, and I feel like I would like to see more of him, because I think he's a really good actor. He does such a good job, like, watching him play Teddy, he just believes everything he says to such a point. It's so convincingly, he's so convincingly both crazy and incredibly competent. It's a weird mix of the two of them. But I love how their characters clash, because we have their first kind of conversation between Michelle, Teddy and Don, and Teddy and Don are dressed up in their nice little suits. And, you know, he's got his hair tied back, and they kind of want to welcome her, and it's really weird. But yeah, I love this first confrontation. I love how smart Michelle is.
Yeah.
I love how they don't treat her as, like, like an incompetency. Like she's not like Elon Musk. She's like really competent.
Yeah.
You know, she's not stupid. And
Again, you have to kind of ignore the context of the ending to appreciate it in a way. But we watch the character flipping back and forth between choosing her approaches, like how she's going to get out of this.
that's what I mean. She's really intelligent. Like off the bat, like the power dynamic immediately shifts because she's tied down onto this bed. She's bald. She's covered in antibiotic cream because of course she is. And Teddy and Dom are like, "Hi, this is what we want you to do. This is what we want out of it. We want you to record a message, send it to your emperor. So on the night of the eclipse, we can get picked up." And she immediately is like, "No, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm really important. You're fucked."
Yeah.
And I mean, I've dumbed it down a little bit. And I love how it immediately shakes Teddy.
Yeah.
He's immediately like scared and he admits that. He's like, "Oh yeah, my heart's pounding. Well done. You got me good."
Yeah.
And then it goes back to Teddy. The power is constantly like flip-flopping between the two. And I love it. It's so intense. It's like you don't know what the characters are going to do next. And I loved it.
That's it. It's the matchup between someone who is less intelligent but has all of the immediate power in a situation versus someone who's really good at talking through things. But the obstacle is, if this was any other kind of kidnapper, what she does may well work.
Yeah.
It's because this is a guy who genuinely thinks she is an alien capable of sending a voice note to
Her
her
emperor.
emperor.
It really sets up early on that nothing Michelle can say will convince Teddy otherwise. She cannot reason with him. She cannot convince him to change his mind.
And when we see her at certain points trying to go along with it, he sees through it. He's like, you're just pretending. And but again, because he genuinely does believe it, and he's like, I know this about you. He sees that as a little pretending, like, you're not taking this seriously, so that's not good enough.
Yeah, and I really like this kind of first confrontation because I think it works as a well-disguised exposition dump.
Yeah.
Which I really like, where Teddy explains who they are, what they want. He gives a bit of a history on what the aliens are about because he talks to Dom about it. I love it. And then, you know, they leave Michelle in the basement and they have this really nice moment where Teddy and Dom kind of hug each other and jump up and down.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet. The characters, you do like the characters in this film, even though I liked all three characters. Even though two of them aren't particularly good characters or particularly nice characters, I still liked them. I was engaged with them.
They were all very fun to watch. Like, it's like how a film might have a couple of standout cast members or characters that are just always like when they come back on screen, you're ready, you're quite excited, and all three of the main characters all have that trait where anything they're doing in any of the shots is immediately extremely engaging.
That's what I mean. I just really, all the performances in this film are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over how good they were. So after this, they kind of leave her in the basement and they say, record the message. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk to you. And kind of at that point, we are kind of back outside because Teddy's on his bicycle going to work. And again, it goes from really close, like this really close camera work, really in your face, to immediately pulled back, like quite a lot. It feels unnaturally pulled back. And it's at this point, because obviously there is a bit of tension. They've kidnapped someone. It's important. We see a police car pass Teddy and it immediately does a 180.
Yeah.
And it is a really big, like, oh moment. Like the tension's building and building and building. So at this point, we are introduced to Officer Casey, played by Stavros Halkis, I think it is. Fantastic. I love this guy.
And this is another character who fits into that theme of manipulation and abuse. You don't really get it right away. Or at least I don't know how you felt. He sort of hints towards a past with Teddy as an old babysitter when he was a kid, and you get little hints of him not really being happy with the way he handled that. And at first, it kind of sounds like he's talking about maybe just like an irresponsible babysitter.
It's really ominous, isn't it? The way he talks about it.
Then later on, it gets more and more, and they never specifically say it, but there's some point it clicks in your head that's. And it's when he says, and we'll get to it, we'll talk about that more when we get to it, but the quote he says eventually was, I think it was just...
something about power or something.
Yeah, it was just like the power dynamic. I was like, oh shit. And also how casual Teddy doesn't, he's just like, yeah, whatever, dude.
I really like Teddy and Officer Casey's dynamic, because we have this great fake out of, oh shit, there's a police car. Yeah. And this guy, he gets out of the car and he's kind of sure, and he's I mean, I believe the actor is a comedian, I believe.
Yeah.
From my research. And he comes out and he puts his hands on his hips and he's like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? You okay? Like, they're so chill. He's really funny. Completely unintentionally, his performance is it's really funny how so much of a police officer he isn't. He does not act like a police officer.
In that conversation, there are some shots like looking up at him at mad angle, and he's just towering over the camera for some reason. Again, but he's also at the same time in that conversation, despite being a police officer, it's lower on the power dynamic between them, because he's looking for what's the word? He's looking for validation.
Yeah, I think validation
from Teddy.
Yeah, he wants him to be. He wants to be friends with him. And he also wants to be like forgiven for what he's done.
And no, like the whole time he's got this thing weighing over him. He's done this terrible thing that his victim is so nonchalant about, just not particularly bothered, and he's trying to get through that and form a friendship with his victim to make himself feel better about it.
It's so funny the way he talks about it, because he's like, oh yeah, I'm just checking up on you, man. How are you? I know, I did stuff to you in the past that maybe wasn't good, but, maybe I could come over, we can have a beer, we can have a little chat. And he's basically like, yeah, I miss you, dude,
Oh, God. Which is so much more disturbing in context, knowing what he says later on and stuff.
It's so weird, because, again, by all accounts, it should be funny. But the way he says it, it's like...
But it's just disturbing.
It's like, what the fuck? I know. It's so jarring. It's great. The writing in this film is so good. The dialogue grips me so hard. And after this point, so Officer Casey fucks off, and he basically says, oh, I'll pop around later and we can have a beer and something, which is a nice little Chekhov's gun there.
Does he hint towards the fact at that point that he's on the case of this kidnapping? Or he wouldn't have heard about it yet, would he?
I don't know. He doesn't hint at it yet. He just basically runs into Teddy, but that's why it's such a good fake out, because he's completely oblivious to the actual serious thing that's going on. I just really enjoyed that bit. And then he kind of Chekhov's gun and says, "Oh, I'll pop around later. Wink. We can catch up. Wink. That'll appear later."
Teddy shuts that down as well, saying, "Like, I'm really busy, but in the future." Sure, like he very actively shuts him down.
I do like how they talk to each other. They're really chill. It's such a genuine conversation between two people who know each other but aren't necessarily friends with each other. It's got an awkwardness to it that I really liked.
Yeah, absolutely.
So after this point, we learn that Teddy works for Michelle.
Yes.
At the boxing, in what is essentially an Amazon warehouse, basically, isn't it? And we get some nice kind of talk about Teddy's ideals as he talks to one of his co-workers. They talk about... Because his co-worker's cut her hand, and he's like, "Is your hand okay?" And she's like, "No, it's..." And he's just immediately like, "That's an OSHA violation. We will sue them. We will uprise them. Our day will come."
That's it. It's just, he's a very strange character, Teddy, because in his own mind, everything he's doing is all good intentions for the good of not just himself, but
mankind.
People.
Yeah, humankind.
He's looking out for working people, but does it through such diabolical means. But then at the same time, and again, we'll get to it, but with context of what the ending reveals, and also knowing about his childhood trauma, it almost forgives him even more. We eventually will learn that he's had other victims that maybe weren't aliens, and obviously he's still pretty unforgivable to Don in certain ways, but a lot of the things he does is just quite like, at the end you're like, oh, shit, well, he was just looking out for people.
That's what I mean. He's very genuine about his beliefs, and he really does believe in them, and he think that's what's doing is good. And that's why he is a tragic character as well, because he is both reasonable in certain things and completely unreasonable in others. And it's really sad to see, because if he wasn't kind of crazy, then I'd be like, yeah, this guy's right.
It's the thing of he's so sure about this way of how the world is and what needs to be done. He's so stubborn and sure of that he feels it's like a duty to impose it in any way possible.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We have this nice little scene, and that really recontextualizes things about the fact that Teddy works for Michelle. He is a worker bee to the queen bee, which comes back to at the start, and Teddy owns bees and he loves bees because he brings... he's on lunch break, isn't he? And he's looking at a news report about Michelle being kidnapped, and he's sitting there and he's like talking to his coworker. And he's like, "Yeah, I brought a jar of honey with me if you guys want it." Like he's sharing. He does look out for those around him, even though his ideals are very warped.
But even his ideals, I think at certain points, and again we'll get to this, I think even his ideals as well appear a little bit shallow at certain points as well, because when it suits him, his I think the ethics in his mind just go away if it's for the sake of what he imagines to be
it's the greater good kind of thing, isn't it? Like he'll look past it because the outcome is better.
That's it. And even the bees he loves at one point, we'll get to that as well.
Is that our catchphrase for this episode? We'll get to that, because I feel like we've said that so many times.
Welcome to the ScreenBugs podcast.
We'll get to that. That's our new slogan. So yeah, after this we're back inside, and they go down, and we have more of this back and forth between Teddy and Michelle. And Michelle has recorded a message being like, "Hi aliens, come get us, come get me and my friends." And it's at this point where you kind of realize how kind of scary Teddy is, because he believes that she is an alien, and obviously at this point she isn't, and she is so terrified. And how do you work around this situation? Because no matter what you do, he's not going to believe you, because as soon as he listens to that message, he's like,
"It is a joke to you."
Yeah, what are you saying? That's not what... You didn't even say it in your own language, man. You said it in English. It's like, that's a really scary situation, because you can't reason with him, because he's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a real terrifying thing, and that's why I think it was a little bit politically relevant, because they talk a lot about stuff like echo chambers.
Yes.
And this kind of the way you believe things and how reliable your sources are. And Teddy, he's like, "Oh, I've done my own research," but how valid is his research? And because he says a line later on where he's like, "Oh, I don't get my news from the news." It's a scary thing, because it's not rational.
It's not,
even though he thinks it is.
Again, there's just this like a sort of aching thing where it makes this whole point, and he's this way, and it makes this point about the way he is this way and all that stuff. But again, the ending of this film just cancels out every point it makes. He's like, "Actually, he was right. Echo chambers are good, actually."
You should kidnap people. Do it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and after this, after he doesn't believe her, he starts running kind of tests then on Michelle, and he goes to immediately kind of electrocute her.
Yeah.
He's like straps her down to this electrocution chair.
Wanted to get some like readings from her or something.
Yeah, he wanted to take some readings.
It was like to prove it, just to make sure, because you're treating it as a joke, let me just make sure you are what I think you are.
Yeah.
And he does it.
I mean, it's a really interesting scene, because it's just a torture scene. He's strapped into a chair and he's electrocuting her. And it's a bit of a painful scene to watch. It's done really well. Emma Stone's performance here is great. It's like, oh my God, that is a horrible noise. She's in pain. She's screaming. Like the lights are flickering. She's using so much power. And I think this is what you're saying about with Teddy doing stuff for the greater good. Because he's slowly increasing the voltage, all the while Don is next to him being like, "Stop it now, stop it!" Like Michelle's bleeding and she's like screaming and crying, and Don is like, "Teddy, you need to stop now," trying to be this voice of reason to him, which is nice, because Don is kind of his voice of reason to a sense. He looks out for Don, but he also he respects Don. He does listen to Don. Obviously, this switches later, but at this point, I'd say he respects Don, I think.
He's very much within two minds as well, because he's not sure whether to believe it. I think it's almost the logic of it in Don's mind doesn't sound believable to him, but it's just because he trusts Teddy that he's like, so I guess it's true, but it doesn't quite compute, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice hearing Don's perspective on the things as well, because Teddy is such a zealot about all his beliefs, whereas Don believes it, but you can tell not quite, and maybe he believes it out of love for Teddy rather than his actual belief.
Yeah.
It's really, and this scene's great. And there's something I noticed in this scene that happens a couple times in the scene. A lot of the sounds and a lot of the sound effects that happen are very, like, they sound like bees buzzing. Like when Michelle is being electrocuted, you can just hear like a very like zzz of like, and it sounds, and it just reminded me of bees flying around. And this happens a couple times in the film, and I just think it's really cool because obviously this film, it tells us a lot about bees. Bees are very important to this film, which is nice because we can talk about this film because of them. But it's so good. I really like it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't pick up on that, but that's really cool.
But yeah, so obviously Don is the voice of reason. He's telling Teddy, stop, and then Teddy does eventually stop electrocuting, and there is I love his reaction.
Yeah.
His demeanor completely changes.
And it was not where I was expecting the scene to go at all.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. He electrocutes her, and he unties Michelle really frantically and quickly, and then he says a great line. He's like, "I'm so sorry, Your Highness."
Yeah.
It's so good because his attitude completely changes. Because before he thought, I've just abducted another fucking alien, but now it's the emperor of the aliens.
He has like a genuine respect for the hierarchy of this alien species. He's that deep into it. He's
like very knowledgeable of what he believes. He's very knowledgeable of their culture, which is very. I like it. It's,
okay, if
go on.
Within the canon of this being an actual true thing, how does he know so much?
This is what interesting. And this is what I mean. The ending really does make you reconceptualize the whole film.
The film was up to a certain point till we'll get to that.
We'll get later, you know.
But I feel like the film's the film, and then the ending is just a little joke. That's what it feels like.
Is that how you?
But I do wonder because I also feel like maybe the ending's us trying to make some kind of bigger point, but I've just not worked out what the point is.
As we've said, Justin.
We'll get to
it. We need like a little counter at the end of the episode.
Oh, no, get a little ding. No, I don't have time to give a little ding to everyone.
You'd be fucking in the editing. You're like, fucking hell, these two always like.
I've got one I to do. Oh, I should have done it with the soundboard. We need to take more use of the soundboard.
We do. We have a fucking soundboard.
We have a soundboard.
I think we can do custom sounds as well. We'll try and.
Well, maybe we need to start adding it to thing. We need like buzz sounds or something.
There's crickets.
Is there crickets?
Every time Ben makes a joke, we've got crickets.
Right, you guys are gonna live see me finding a cricket.
Are you not gonna edit this out, Justin?
No, I'm not gonna edit this out. You all hear it. That's a nice little ambience for us. Good. Okay.
That was really loud. I apologise to anyone wearing headphones listening to this.
Okay, soundboard can leave.
You're like a kid on an iPad then, Justin.
I've never touched it for these recordings, but I quite like. No, I'm not going to touch it.
He's like finger over the buzzer, like, ooh.
Don't mind if I do.
We have voice filters as well.
Oh my god. Okay, let's not mess with that today.
We'll do it afterwards. We'll get to it. We'll get to that.
Hey, listen to the end to us do some funny voices.
10-minute extra on the episode as we fuck around.
So then the way he treats her changes drastically. She gets a shower. She gets some clothes. She gets offered a wig.
Yeah, she gets her hair back, which is funny. So just because Emma Stone is bald for most of this movie. Are you aware of the all bald screenings of this film?
No.
So I'm not sure if it was in this country or if it was just an American thing, but certain cinemas did what they called all bald screenings, where before going in you were given a bald cap to put on.
That is awesome.
So I'm sad we didn't get that. I mean, in preparation, I did shave my head. I'm currently bald at the time of recording this. So, but I thought that was just a funny bit of trivia about the film. I really like it when films do that. Like, they have a gimmick in the cinema.
It's like The Long Walk, that film that came out recently.
On treadmills, yeah.
Cinema screens and treadmills, which is so sick. But apparently they made it a little bit slower than it was in the film.
I mean, fucking 4 miles per hour is a rough way to walk.
Well, if you're a pathetic car-fast cinema goer, then maybe, yeah.
What, just you sitting there watching The Long Walk, ramping up to like 90 miles per hour, like sprinting in the cinema.
You're trying to listen to the voice here.
Like, these guys are fucking, see ya! Like, he's off.
Good film, by the way, no bugs though.
Oh, damn, we can't talk about it.
They have the dinner conversation. And let me tell you, I love spaghetti and meatballs.
But...
No, I just love them.
Oh,
I'm just saying it.
Because we watched... I watched the film with my partner, and afterwards she was like, her main point was like, that spaghetti and meatballs look shit.
The thing is though, when Okay. When I make spaghetti meatballs or bolognese, I don't do the thing when you put the pasta, then layer it on. I mix it all together into a giant pot.
No, that is how you do it.
It's so much more efficient to do it that way, but it doesn't look as cool.
I think I was looking at this. I think putting the pasta sauce on top of the spaghetti and not mixing it, I think that's a very American thing.
Is it?
Yeah, because that's not how they do it in Italy, which is obviously where it's from.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Why are you doing that? You're just going to get...
Because you've got to mix it anyway. You've got to mix it anyway.
Straight pasta at the bottom, just shoveling straight pasta into your mouth with no flavour.
Like dry, like...
Oh, God.
But this dinner scene is...
And they go straight for the meatballs in this scene as well.
They don't even mix it. They
just
don't stir it.
Save the meat. Don't have meatballs. Then you just got pasta left anyway.
You know that's going to be my promotion for this film. I'm going to re-edit that scene with me like sitting in it and going, "You need to stir it. You need to stir it, guys. What are you doing?"
That's a good idea. Actually, I like that.
I'll get my green screen out when I get home. But yeah, this scene is really good because again the power dynamic changes. Again,
yeah.
Teddy is less. Well, for the time being, less aggressive and more respectful because he's now in the presence of royalty.
Yeah.
And just before we continue, because another one is coming up, we have a couple flashbacks that we haven't talked about. So throughout the film, every now and again, we are seeing flashbacks of Teddy when he was younger, which looks a little bit jarring because they've obviously scaled down Jesse Plemons and he looks a bit smaller and his hair's different and all that. And we get some really cool stuff with that because they're in black and white, they're very surreal, and it's about Teddy and his mother.
His mum, who we learn was made very sick, I believe, by a drug from Michelle's company. Is that right?
That seems to be the gist, and she's covered in like these needles and she's very like out of it. Refreshing water there, just and that picked up on the mic.
Sorry. Was it? I got the vibe. Was it a clinical test to get some cheap experimental treatment for something? Is that right?
Something like that. I think she may have been ill, and then she got this experimental treatment, and she's now basically in a coma, isn't she?
Yeah. She says something. When we see her in, is it like a bathtub or was it in a bed?
Bathtub, yeah.
Covered in needles. She says something to Teddy, which was like something about how she's happy for her to go through this if it means he will never have to, kind of thing. So it does seem like it's some kind of clinical test trial, but when it goes wrong, and again, when you go to an experimental clinical test trial, that's what you're signing up for. Usually there's not a lot of hope where you can't afford this care.
It's a very desperate measure kind of thing, isn't it?
And I'm assuming based on the themes that it would probably be a situation where they cannot afford this medical care. So they are in a situation where their only hope is this, which then goes straight back into the power dynamics and the manipulation and things.
And it also helps kind of further the connection between Teddy and Michelle, like more than we realise. But yeah, and that's nice, and we get another one of these in a bit. About halfway through the dinner scene, we get our second one. But I love this dinner scene; is so good. Teddy is he's like a bomb here because Michelle recognizes that he's changed the way he approaches her because he's now treating her with a lot more respect, and she is she gets a bit more confident. She's very witty and very smart here, and she's thinking, how can I get out of this?
Yeah.
Admittedly, I don't think she handles it very well because she continuously provokes Teddy here.
I know. She got a little bit of lenience, a little bit more respect from her kidnappers. But then, again, like you said, gets too confident and starts talking about their mother. And so she's in a position where she's like, okay, I've figured you out now. This is because of the thing with your mom being ill. My company gave you some money to make up for that, but it wasn't enough money. She immediately thinks, okay, you've kidnapped me because you want money from me for revenge. I'll just, she's throwing away around as a rich CEO.
She actually, it's very interesting as well because she actually apologizes to Teddy. She recognizes what she's done is wrong in hopes that it will change Teddy's mind because she thinks maybe he's kidnapped her because of this when he hasn't and he is crazy and she can't convince him. And I really like this scene. Teddy is like a bomb.
Yeah.
You can tell as soon as she mentions Teddy's mother, he is like, don't say her name.
Yeah.
He completely goes. And it's all admitted by the fact that Don is quite silent throughout this scene. Especially, he is sat in the middle of the table. He's between the two and he's not allowed to speak. Teddy has told him to shut up. He's not allowed to speak. And again, it's that power dynamic of he has power over Dom and he won't let him. I did feel for Don here. I want to give him a hug. He's too lovely. He was such a sweet guy. So again, great performance. And we are hit with another flashback, mid-dinner scene of Michelle apologising to Teddy about his mother. And I like these scenes because they're very surreal.
Yeah, at this point the mother is like levitating.
She's floating above Teddy and he's holding her by like an IV drip.
Yeah, which I feel like some kind of, I think it's meant to like symbolise like, you know, the coma, that she's not really grounded with him, she's not really there with him.
Yeah, I like that, and it's good, and it's a complete style change because it's all in black and white and it's very surreal. It's a nice breath of fresh air because the dinner scene is very long. Scene, and it's a nice that we just have this little break.
It's a very tasteful and creative way of putting in these little drops of backstory and exposition at the perfect moment.
That's what I mean, because then it powers the dinner scene even more. It gives you more context, and therefore you can be like, oh shit, whoa.
I think it's very easy with flashback scenes, because there's small flashback scenes for needed information at the exact moment you need them, and it's so easy for that to have been a situation where it took you out of it. It feels like cheap exposition, but it has been written and directed well enough for it to only grip you further.
Oh, 100%.
Which is a testament to the people who made this film.
And I really like what these flashbacks do, is because it shows a kind of contrast between Teddy and Michelle, because, you know, Teddy's got I've written it down and I hope I word it right. He's got a good past, but a bad present.
Yeah.
Whereas Michelle has a bad past, but a kind of good present. She is evil in the past, good now, whereas Teddy was good in the past and he's more sinister and evil now.
Yeah.
Not evil, because that kind of takes away the complexity of things. But yeah, I like that they kind of mirror each other. They kind of juxtapose each other nicely, and obviously they've got that. She's a CEO, he's a worker as well. It's great. And obviously the dinner scene has a fantastic climax as Michelle pokes and pokes and pokes at Teddy, and then suddenly he gets up, runs across the table and tackles her to the ground. I was on the edge of my seat in the cinema, genuinely. I was
genuinely in the cinema during this next few moments after that point, like holding myself, wrapping my arms around myself, just like gritted teeth, like shaking. Like
it does such a good job. This film is so tense and so close, and it's so good. Again, if you've not seen it, go watch it.
And Don's in this weird position when they start fighting. Do you start fighting at this point, don't they?
Yeah, because obviously Teddy tries to strangle her and he tries to kill her. Yeah. But obviously, as we were shown earlier, Michelle knows how to fight. She's still quite competent, and she does fight back, and the power constantly shifts. It's not an uneven fight. It's great. It's a great struggle. You don't know who's going to win it. At this moment, I was thinking, oh shit, what's gonna happen here? And Don is freaking out. He's like, guys, stop. He's trying to be the voice of reason to both characters as well. And then he goes and grabs the gun because he has a shotgun. And Michelle gains the upper hand and is choking Teddy with like a scarf or something, or just a bit of something. And this is where things start to fall apart.
Don is in a situation where Don could have shot her and ended it there, but isn't quite convinced completely of what Teddy's saying, and kind of feels bad for her.
There is a hesitancy to his character,
he knocks her out instead of shooting her to save Teddy without killing her, which was...
And then he is... Michelle is knocked out on the floor, and then, honestly, genuinely great bit of narrative motion. The police car arrives. Fucking Officer Casey pulls up to the house like he said he would. And starts like looking around the windows, and oh my God, it's so tense because you don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to come in? Is he going to see? Is it all going to unravel here?
At one point he goes to the window and we see Teddy like looking at him and then closing the curtain on him, which looks so suspicious.
It is very suspicious, but obviously because Officer Casey he's fairly incompetent, I would say also, but he's so like, he wants this to be good for him, so he just looks past it almost. So Don takes Michelle down to the basement, and Teddy greets Officer Casey at the door. And I like this next bit because we have two things happening at the same time. And it's nice that we get to see Don and Michelle interact with each other because it's the first time they properly talk to each other. And it's great. But first we have Officer Casey and Teddy. And I fucking love this scene. This scene is so funny. Again, Officer Casey appears, hands on hips. He's like, how you doing, man? You okay? Can I come in? You got any time? And I love the way he speaks. He's so unsure of everything he's saying. Yeah. Because he's like, got a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Even though he's in a position of authority when he goes, I'd like you to ask a couple of questions.
That's the thing. And he doesn't, it's like he's very clearly as well not there for that work purpose. He's found an excuse to go there.
Yeah.
And he's using that excuse to really just, again, look for that validation again. And this is very telling. This is where it kind of clicks that, oh, this is what's happened in their past.
I just love his dialogue. He's such a good character. I love the bit where he's talking to Teddy and he goes, oh, there's my enemy. And you go, what? And Teddy turns around and there's just a cake behind Teddy. And he goes, and he's like, yeah, do you want some? And he goes, man, I fucking love cake.
It kind of, the way it's, the way the shot is set up, it looks like he's pointing at the baby monitor that's being used to watch.
Yes, yeah.
To watch. Is it a baby monitor?
It is a baby monitor. Yeah, they use a baby monitor to keep an eye on Michelle in the basement. And obviously, I love that there's a great shot of Officer Casey walking in, talking to Teddy, and in the foreground is the baby monitor with Don and Michelle. It looked great. I really like this film. Had great camera work and
amazing
style as well. And obviously the director did stuff like Poor Things as well, which I've not seen.
Oh, Poor Films is Poor
Films.
I'm keeping it in. Poor Things.
Yeah, Poor Things.
Poor Things was amazing.
I've not seen it, but it's the same director.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah, was there noticeable?
Yeah, I think that some of the surrealism of the mix between more grounded and surrealism in different shots and moments is
would you say the absurdity of things as well?
Because Emma Stone was just the lead in Poor Things as well, I believe.
Yeah, so clearly she's favoured by the director. And she's a great actress as well. She's so good in this film. I think this is one of my favourite roles I've seen her in, 100%.
Well, I think my two favourite roles I've seen her in are this and Poor Things. So clearly it's a good match.
Clearly a good director as well, you know, clearly he's doing something right. But yeah, and we get more dialogue from Officer Casey, which, again, as we talked about earlier, is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you know, I'm sorry for how I treated you in the past. It was real. But the way he talks, he's like, you know, it was a real dick move. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's all casual.
I hope we're okay.
It's like he fucking, I don't know, like snitched on him in fucking school. But no, from what we can tell, it sounds like he has abused him as a child.
But we never know, and I really like that because it's such an ominous line that he's in this position of power. He's a police officer, you know, and he's like, you know, maybe it was a power thing, I don't know, but it was really fucked up that I did that to you. And we just don't know what it is, and it's horrifying.
And Teddy's all the while just thinking about the fact that he's got a CEO downstairs.
And a police officer upstairs.
So he's just like, honestly, it's fine. And again, he's treating it like he just got snitched on in school.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You think, should we go on the swings after this and have a little play, you know? I mean, they kind of do when they go outside.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, what does he say to does he literally just say, do you want to see the bees?
Yeah, they're talking. He goes, so, you want to see the bees? and he just goes, yeah, man. And then they go outside and look at the bees. And at this point, we go into the basement with Don and Michelle. How did I want to know what you thought about this scene.
That's it. I think there was always, up to this point, it was leading up with the idea that Don's mind could be changed and was a bit more open to reason. And I do think, because there's an argument that could be made that in a situation, Michelle is just trying to manipulate someone she considers to be vulnerable to get out. But it does feel like there's actual empathy from Michelle for Don.
That's what I mean. I think it's very complex because obviously the way she talks to him, she's trying to convince him. She's obviously doing it for her own gain.
Yeah.
But I think she can also tell that he is unsure and that he isn't like Teddy.
And she speaks to him normally. She speaks to him just on a human level until Don starts talking about, you know, if you are an alien, will you take me with you?
Yeah, it's real sad.
We have a really sad moment where he's been sort of manipulated into chemically castrating himself. He's in a position where he's got no one but Teddy, and he's just in an absolute dire situation where he is helpless, he's vulnerable. And because he's been fed the idea from Teddy specifically that people won't get him, people won't like him, people won't see him as a hero unless he does exactly what Teddy does. Only Teddy's there for him. He's in a position where he just doesn't believe there's a place for him on this earth.
No, he's a real tragic character. I really felt for him. He's the performance from Adrian Delbus is so
incredible.
The emotion you can hear in the tone of his voice. He's so unsure and so like upset. It's just he deserved better. I really liked his character. He was definitely my favourite.
So as I'm sure the listeners are aware, what happens next is, he says something to her. He says something about to tell Teddy something.
Yeah, he's like tell Teddy, because obviously she's kind of changed his mind about things and made him feel guilty, and he's scared about being caught by the police. And he is like, okay, just tell Teddy that I love him and everything. And he tilts the shotgun upwards and shoots himself in the face, killing him. I am not even joking when I say my jaw dropped in the cinema. My mouth was genuinely wide open at this point.
My perception of that moment is, I think he was like open-minded to the idea that he's been feeding him, saying he's because of what Teddy's told him, he believes there's no place for him on Earth. Because of what Teddy's told him, he believes he's been told that she's an alien. He asks, will you take me with you? Yeah. And then she says, yes, I will. I think that he notices, because he always wasn't sure about the whole thing anyway. I think he notices that she's just lying, and I think he makes a decision then that, okay, there is no
other way out for me, because, even if she's not an alien, we've kidnapped someone, which is very serious. If she is an alien, then we're going to, I'm going to be taken off.
And if she isn't an alien as well, he's stuck on this earth, has been fed this lie, whilst also being fed the idea that he doesn't belong.
And there's nothing he can do about it either.
So then suddenly he's left with the only thing that makes sense was it, did he say, I think I'm ready to go? Something like that?
And then he shoots himself.
And then he shoots himself, which is the most heartbreaking part of the entire film.
I was genuinely, I was sat forward like, my mouth open, like, oh my God. Because then soon after this, we cut back to outside with Teddy showing Casey the bees. We hear the gunshot from inside.
And this is a moment where, again, it's about when it suits him with Teddy. He's been all for the bees. He loves the bees. He talks about the threats to the life of bees. But then when it comes down to it, he takes apart this apiary with all these bees, working and living, and pulls it apart to attack
He
Casey.
He hits him in the face with the honeycomb, and then he just gets swarmed by bees. It's horrible. His death was actually really brutal.
It was awful. But again, that as soon as he wasn't going to get out of this, the bees suddenly don't matter quite as much as they did before.
Yeah, it's crazy, and obviously because Teddy knows something's happened inside, so he kills Officer Casey very brutally.
Yeah.
Runs inside and he sees, Don's body and Michelle there, and it's the performance again. Jesse Plemons, fantastic,
incredible, and he's so emotional, and he's like, "What did you say to her?" And he's like, she's using alien manipulation techniques. But obviously, ultimately, what it comes down to, and what she says in the moment, was that it wasn't what she said that caused him to kill himself. It was what he said. I had been saying to him this whole time.
Yeah, it's a real brutal moment, and again, it shows the kind of very much the how good Michelle is at talking. I mean, it's her job, and she does this a lot. She's really competent in this.
Yeah, well, that will come from Alien School, won't it?
Alien School.
How to manipulate humans.
How to cook a human.
I reckon it's like dog training classes in our world or something like that. There's like, how do you manipulate a human to do what you want to do?
Sir?
How to become Amazon CEO. In 5 easy
like
steps.
hustle culture but for aliens. how to get the alien Sigma mindset in 3 easy steps.
Andrew Tate is the top globe in space for real. he's got a little.
That's why he's bald. That's why he's bald.
Oh no, he can't speak to the emperor.
No. And yeah, so at this point, I think Michelle, the power dynamic shifts incredibly as Michelle kind of convinces Teddy to. It's really brutal, and Teddy's in a very emotional state, in a very vulnerable state, and she basically convinces him that she is an alien. Obviously, she feeds into the lie. And convince him that the cure to his mother's illness is in a bottle of antifreeze. And she says to him, it looks like antifreeze. It's not antifreeze. It's such a fucked up moment as well, because it's horrible and we don't expect this from Michelle, but
again, the mother's one of the characters who is just a victim.
She is a victim. She has barely any dialogue, and we're back out, she convinces this. Teddy runs off, gets the antifreeze, gets on his bike and starts pedaling.
And all the while, there's no rush. Like, Michelle doesn't try and escape in that moment.
No.
She starts looking around, and we sort of, another layer of this is revealed. We sort of get to learn in that moment that Teddy has been this stubborn because he actually knew it was true, and he's been experimented. He's done this before, and I was about to say we'll get to it.
No.
But then we see that he's so much further into this than we might.
That's what I mean. We see this secret room filled with like body parts.
It's like a model of the ship.
A model of the ship, body parts. There's like a dead body on a table. Like, clearly he has done this is what he's talking about when he means his research.
Yeah.
He's been able to do this. And it adds another like real like scariness to his character of the fact that he is just genuinely fucked up. And I mean, what happens next doesn't help. He breaks into where his mother is staying, injects her with antifreeze. And she dies.
And it's a very brutal, slow thing.
It is, because he's like shaking as he does it, because he thinks this will save her. Yeah. He thinks that
which is what's really pushing the whole time.
Because Michelle gets into his head. She has this whole monologue, doesn't she, about like, oh yeah, we came to this planet. She puts on this alien persona in the moment and says, we came to this planet. She gives him a history, says why his mother's in a coma. There was an experiment. She's being experimented on by aliens, and that this is the cure for that. But it's not.
Yeah.
She kind of lies to him about it, or so we think. In that particular monologue, I thought she was just bullshitting. And again, we'll get to it, but she wasn't. And it's the acting from them both is so good here. Like Jesse, he's so Teddy's so energetic and terrified, and the power dynamic shifts entirely.
Yeah.
So obviously he's killed his mum. He returns to the house, broken and afraid, and
it's funny because she continues this persona, and at this point as a viewer, you're not actually. The assumption is still that she's just a human and he's crazy. And
that she's just really smart and she's just manipulated him.
Well, she asks him, which is one of the things that seemed a bit weird in the moment, she asks him, after seeing the bodies, she asks how many of them were aliens, and he says 2 of them.
That was very interesting. That was very... because Teddy says it, you don't believe him. Yeah. Because you still think he's crazy. He's there's so interesting characters in this. So yeah, after this point... Teddy is about to kill Michelle, and she's like, no, I can take you to the mothership, because remember, we've got this countdown clock of 4 days. And so Teddy goes with Michelle to her place of work.
Yeah, the headquarters.
And
the looks for everyone, how she's just casually walking back and after being missing, police investigation, everything.
And she's like, hi guys.
She walks in with just some dude
who looks like shit, and he's like dirty, and she's limping because he fucking caved her knee in earlier in the film. So yeah, she takes him to her office, and she's like, it should almost be comedic, because she pulls out a calculator, and she's like, oh, this is my communicator. I've got to put in a big digit number, but I've got to remember it, so shut up.
This is where I was expecting much earlier in the scene for this to be where the twist I was expecting to be revealed.
Do you think?
I thought it was going to be... I didn't know if it was a calculator till she actually said the word calculator. Like, okay, so what's the plan here? And even if you don't expect the ending you get, at this point you're just like, what is her plan? Because this isn't a quick scene and a sudden plan. It drags.
This is a very long sequence,
and I'm glad it drags as well.
But you can't predict it, which is nice, because she's put in the calculator, and Teddy's kind of like, just in case anything happens, I've come prepared. He unzips his shirt, and he's just got a bomb vest on.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh my god, because you don't see him put that on either. He just has that on, and it adds this tension because it's a literal
the
ticking
whole
time bomb.
time in the background you're seeing employees look at what's happening, talk to each other, more people come, then some
you can see
people run away,
shadows gather, can't you?
and everyone's just sort of trying to work out what to do.
But it's so interesting because at this point Michelle's like, I've got my calculator to communicate. The wardrobe is a teleporter. If you get in the wardrobe, you'll be teleporting. I couldn't predict what she was doing.
Yeah.
So she somehow convinces him to get in this wardrobe because he is so in an emotional state.
Yeah.
He's willing to just go along with it. I think Teddy has completely lost all kind of main competency and focus. So he's just very much going along with it. And he goes into the wardrobe. And I actually thought this would be the end of the film. And it would be an ambiguous kind of what happens kind of thing. But no. Gets into the wardrobe. Michelle steps back, and then Teddy explodes.
It just explodes, and you see his head roll off and
you
stuff.
see a great prosthetic head roll off, and he is dead.
I was so certain it was going to be as simple as then he teleports to the mothership.
Do you think? And it would be like, oh my god, he's like, what the fuck?
That's what I was expecting. I did not expect, and it makes sense. Obviously, they said something about the body heat because it was a homemade.
It's a homemade improvised explosive, yeah.
He just fucking explodes.
Really, his head flies out of the wardrobe.
It plays with you because it was false the whole time. He's dead. This is how it's going to end. And then she leaves, and the police come in.
She leaves in an ambulance.
She goes to the hospital and things. Well, no, in an ambulance, and then she climbs back out.
Yeah.
Sort of. Really not in a very great state.
No, her kneecap is caved in. She's limping, and she limps all the way back to her place of work. And at this point, I was like, "What? Where's this going? Where's this going?" She gets to a thing. She gets in the wardrobe.
That's covered in blood.
Covered in blood. Covered in Jesse Plemons. She gets in the wardrobe, and then. Wow, big music. And it is revealed that she is an alien. That's the big twist. That is the big twist. She's an alien. And we do have some nice visuals here. The alien ship looks kind of like arteries and bloody pulsating.
Great. It looks amazing.
I love how the aliens look. They've got these weird knitted fiber suits, and they've all got long hair and beards.
And they speak, and there's a whole thing about, sorry I couldn't communicate with you because they shaved my hair off. It reveals everything was all completely true. You get an exterior shot of the ship, and it looks exactly like the one that Teddy had a model of.
So I do like this scene. It's a very out of nowhere scene, and I really like how everything looks. And they have their own alien language, which is completely made up.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's shown that Michelle was in fact the Emperor, and she approaches a small diorama of Earth. And I like this little diorama for two reasons. One is because it shows the Earth as flat.
Yeah.
And two, it shows the Earth with a dome around it, which are two of the big conspiracy theories about the world. And then she pops the dome around the Earth, and we have, I want to say, an incredibly beautiful sequence.
Yeah, a very long sequence. They've really a lot of time and effort would have gone into this.
Yeah. So what happens is we get a real soft scene of the song "Where Have All the Flowers Gone." Begins to play, and upon the bubble being popping, we get a very long sequence of essentially showing everyone on Earth as dead.
Yeah.
We are cut with shots of, people lying down completely motionless in their job, at home. There's a couple doing it and they're dead. And it shows all over the world people dead. There's I believe, is it a mosque or a synagogue where everyone's praying and they're all just down, they're all dead. And I think it's really effective.
And of course, the humans are dead, but the animals are not.
No, all the animals are still alive.
The bees can return, the cats are free, and
we do go back to the start of the film because we get, I think, is essentially the same footage of the bees living and pollinating, and I really like this bit. It just was so visually striking. I was very disappointed with the twist that she was an alien. I think it was too predictable and takes away from the rest of the film a little bit. However, as soon as this sequence was on, I immediately forgave it because of how beautiful this bit was.
It is beautiful. the thing of it is the ending. Maybe I need to rewatch. It's not clicked. The ending, not only does it cancel out and go against the logic of every decision made by each character throughout this film, the whole film makes less sense because of the twist ending.
Yeah.
And it's also predictable. But also the ending feels like it's trying to add some kind of extra layer to its theme and make some kind of point.
About the environment or something about
humans.
But
it's like, I need to watch it again, it's just not clicked, right? Or it's just kind of lousy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I felt a bit miffed.
Yeah, I don't, because maybe there was a point to be made there, but whatever that point is, they've not made it.
I think genuinely, I think the film for me works better with the fact that Teddy's wrong and that he's crazy and that you can't. How do you reason with a person? The horror and the thriller comes from how do you approach a person like this? But the fact that he's completely right and like to the T, like he's completely right. He's not like getting anything wrong.
It feels like the only purpose for this ending is just. In a film that's very well written, has so many really delicate themes that are handled so well, the ending is just a bit of fun.
It does, yeah, it does. It feels like a bit of a joke, and I actually thought maybe you can interpret it as, Michelle she's still in the back of the ambulance, and she's this is just a hallucination or something like that.
Maybe like dying or something.
It's definitely up for interpretation, the ending, 100%. But I really liked the visuals, so I really quickly forgave how I felt because I was like, oh, that sucked. But this looked pretty and I like this, so I'll let you off.
It's kind of like a bittersweet feeling. It's a cool ending, it looks good, but it's just like, it kind of takes it away from the film.
I would be interested to see how a rewatch affects the rest of the film, knowing the ending afterwards. But that is the ending of the film, and now it is time for the episode where we give the film legs. So if you're listening for the first time, this is our rating. It's a simple 0 to 100. 0 being it's a worm, it's got no legs. 100 being it's a centipede because it's got hundreds of legs. And of course, we're bug themed. So I really liked this film. I'm so glad I got to see this in cinemas. I think the directorial style was fantastic. The characters are so good. It's been a while since I've really enjoyed every single character. Like usually you've got a favourite character, least favourite character. I really liked everyone for different reasons as well. And it just worked. The premise was absurd, but the execution of that was so genuinely gripping, and it had me on the edge of my seat, genuinely. It's been a while since I have been nervous in a cinema watching something. Like my heart was racing and I felt like, I felt a bit uncomfy in a good way. And I enjoyed it. And the visuals are great. Again, performances, all of the actors are really good in this. The twist, for me, is incredibly disappointing and I didn't like it, but immediately forgiven for that last 5 minutes. I mean, it was good. I think I will give it a solid about 85. I think for the rest of the film. And just something as well I forgot to comment on that I really liked. The end credits didn't have music.
Yeah.
It was just nature sounds. That was really nice. I wish more films do that. It felt so serene. It let me think about the film after I'd seen it.
I did like that as well.
But so I'm going to give it an 85, I think.
Yeah. I mean, similarly, I feel like for most of this film, it is brilliant. It generally is tense. The characters are good. I really do appreciate the casting. I appreciate, again, that they've casted an actual neurodivergent person in a neurodivergent role. And it was pretty excellent, again, up until the end point. And again, the whole film, I'm expecting that twist. I'm not even expecting it in a way like, oh, it's going to happen, isn't it? I was like, okay, I feel like this is probably going to happen. When's it going to happen? What are they going to do with it? And then when it finally does happen, then they drag it out to the end. And they spend enough time with the ending for it to have needed some kind of point, some kind of reason, some kind of substance. And as beautiful as that sequence is, what are you trying to say? Like, what are you trying to say?
Like a hollow message.
And the fact that you watch back the film and it's itching in the back of my mind the whole time. Like, I really like this, but how does that work with the ending? And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point of it. But I think it... I don't know if it's too strong to say it just kind of left a sour sort of taste with the rest of what I loved about the film.
I think bittersweet is definitely the way to describe it.
Yeah, it kind of cancels some things out, but maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the whole point of it, is just to be like, I don't know, to throw you off, to distract you. But it feels like to me that they were trying to say something and they just did not convey whatever they were trying to say with that ending well. And I think it cancels out some of its own points, and maybe it's just a bit of fun. But that bit of fun kind of has some whiplash after the film so carefully and so masterfully deals with themes and ideas up until this point. So, I don't know, because I do genuinely love the rest of the film, my brain's in the in-between of like 75 to 85, so I'm just going to round off at like an 80.
An 80.
A great film that didn't quite stick the landing is what I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
This was a good one. I enjoyed all of the performances. We can agree on that.
Me
the
too.
direct was great. It was just that weird, strange little end. But I'm curious what you guys all think about
let
this.
us know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a look, but we will, get to it later, of course. That's scary.
That'll do.
This is Ben in the year 3212. I've come back from the future to tell you everything goes wrong if you do not leave a good ScreenBugs review. They're coming and we need a good review. Need it now!
You there, if you want to contact us, you can at screenbugspodcast@gmail.com. You can send us messages, or even, if you're feeling dangerous, you can request a film, and we might just review it.
You know what's even better, Kai?
What?
Well, you can find us on Instagram at ScreenBugs Podcast, or on Twitter /X at ScreenBugs. I'll see you there, and I better see you there.
We know.